Welcome to the Section 3 quarterfinal here from St. Thomas Academy, Jerry Brown Stadium, as we reach you on a Tuesday night alongside Paul Forney with Alex Redding. We are at Jerry Brown Stadium. Josh Powers with you here in Mendota Heights and the campus of St. Thomas Academy for a rematch of last year's quarterfinal. St. Thomas Academy won it by a count of 42-31. Kennedy trying to look for revenge. This year, the Eagles coming in at 1-7 on the season. St. Thomas Academy at 4-4. Let's take a look at the Associated Press top 10 as we end the regular season. As Eden Prairie finishes the regular season 8-0, perfect regular season. They are undefeated, number 1. Minnetonka closely behind, their only loss, 7-1. They are number 2 in the state. Then St. Michael Albertville, big win for them last week. Paul, they move up to 3. Centennial and Edina round out the top 5.
Yeah, looking at the top 5, I mean, obviously Eden Prairie, you hear about them all year long. Edina had that one loss last week to Eden Prairie, so that's the only blemish on their record. Minnetonka, again, only blemish on their record was the one loss to Eden Prairie. But St. Michael Albertville is a team that is looking to be reckoned with here going into the postseason. Moving up from 5A to 6A, they've been playing with the big boys all year, and the only loss that they have on the season is against Totino Grace. And they've been doing a great job all year, and they are proving themselves right now.
You see Chaska and Cooper there, a couple of undefeated 5A teams in the bottom half of the top 5. Let's take a look at what happened last week in the Suburban White. Kennedy getting its first win of the season, 42-34 over Richfield. You saw it on BEC-TV. Jefferson on the road at number 1 Benilde fell 55-14. Chanhassen wrapped up their regular season at 6-2, 32-13 over Waconia. And then Chaska remaining perfect, beating Armstrong 21-16 in a very close contest. So the there you see what happened last week. Then the final standings in the Suburban White went like this. Chaska 4-0 in the district, 8-0 overall. Chanhassen 3-1, a game behind. Their only loss was to Chaska, 6-2 overall. There's Waconia, Jefferson, and Kennedy. Well, quickly as we're headed toward kickoff here, Kennedy will receive the opening kickoff. St. Thomas Academy will kick in the home blue with the white trim. Kennedy in the away white jerseys with the navy blue and gold trim. We'll get into some keys to the game, some players to watch tonight, as well as much more, a key matchup as well here as we are at Jerry Brown Stadium here in Mendota Heights, home of St. Thomas Academy. And it was a very interesting game last year where Kennedy actually led for much of the first half. At one point, they led 18-7, so they're looking for a similar start this year. As we are underway, the Eagles receiving the kickoff. It's a shorter kick, and Kennedy will have pretty good field position out at the 37-yard line. Our key matchup tonight, Paul, Kennedy will need to stop the run. St. Thomas Academy ran for 261 yards last year. That's our key matchup, that St. Thomas Academy offensive line versus the Kennedy defensive line.
Yeah, last week we saw it against Ridgefield. Kennedy's defensive line came in and basically shut down Ridgefield, a team that likes to run and throw the ball. Kennedy's rushing this year is going to be great. That's going to be a key tonight with the wind and everything. Other than that, yeah, it's going to be a fun game to watch right up front and right in the trenches. That's where the game will be won.
Yeah, good point. Kennedy had 0 yards passing last week, but 507 yards rushing against Ridgefield. They can get half of that tonight, they'll be in good shape, as Terrell Davis-Barber on carry number 1. He had over 200 yards last week, but he loses 2 yards on play number 1, bringing up 2nd down and 12.
Didn't get the blocking he needed up front there. Obviously, first game in the cold here. It's gonna affect everything just a little bit. The hits are gonna hurt just a little bit more. Other than that, I think once they get going here, the game is gonna go well for Kennedy rushing wise.
Isaac Coutier is the quarterback. He completed just 2 passes last week, 1 for 1 yard and 1 for -1 yards. 2nd down, he'll look to throw for the first time as he rolls left and floats a deep ball, and it was incomplete. Good coverage there. He was looking for Santos Ortiz, Kennedy's leading receiver, as it's 3rd down.
Yeah, a lot of hand action there. Official looked like he was going to throw a flag there, but he ended up not throwing it there. I think that was a good call. Went both ways there. We've seen that in the NFL. There's been a lot of hand passing or hand hitting throughout the year, and
that was a pretty good pass there from Coutier on his first throw. So 3rd down and 12 now for Kennedy. Joe Draves, the fullback, what a game he had last week. The stats maybe don't show it. He had 2 carries for 9 yards, but he was doing great things in the blocking game. Here's another deep shot for Ortiz, too far again. And Kennedy will go 3 and out as we send it down on the sidelines to Alex Redding. Alex?
Thanks, guys. Tonight, big playoff game for both of these teams, especially Kennedy. Kennedy played St. Thomas Academy last year, and Kennedy won a lot of those battles up front and all around for their football team last year, but came up short. They're playing them again this year, and we're going to go ahead and get you into some Redding's rules here down on the sideline. If both teams tonight expect to come out here and a victory and move on in the bracket. Number 1, time of possession. You got to win the time of possession battle. The longer that an offense can hold the ball and drive down the field, harder it's going to work a defense, and it's going to tire out the other team. And this is more pertaining to the coaches. Moving on to our next point, adjust game plan accordingly. Coaches need to be on this. They need to be on this throughout the game. And I would imagine that John Anderson is going to try some things against St. Thomas tonight. And, and as Paul really likes his mentioning of John Anderson's call of fake punts, might I point that out. So coaches will need to be on the ball just as much as players tonight. And the last thing is red zone efficiency. It doesn't matter whether you drive 50 yards or 30 yards towards an opponent's end zone to score. All that matters is that you need to get those points tonight, whether it be right through the uprights through a field goal or into the end zone with a touchdown. You need to be efficient in the red zone. And that is Redding's rules. And one more thing down on the field, it is windy and it is cold, and kicking is going to be very, very difficult in tonight's matchup. And that's all down from the field. Throw it back up to you guys, Paul and Josh.
Thanks, Alex. A pretty good punt for Isaac Coutier has St. Thomas Academy back up in their own end at just across the 20-yard line. Will Herzog is their quarterback. He fumbled the snap on play number 1, so he got what he could, about a half yard, setting up 2nd and 9. And Herzog hands it off up the middle. Big hole and into the second level. Their leading rusher, Cam Cashin. The senior rumbles for a first down. He had a big game last year against Kennedy, 23 carries, 171 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and a good start for him tonight.
Yeah, you see him right there. Gets a nice big hole right there on his right side. He runs right through that Kennedy defensive line. Something that you don't see a lot of with Kennedy. Rolling right through, or letting runners go right through that defensive line.
16-yard gain for Cashin. He dots the I here on 1st and 10 for St. Thomas Academy. He'll get the ball again, trying to go up the middle. Lost the football, still loose. And I think St. Thomas Academy jumped on it right at the first down marker. So a couple of fumbles in their first 3 plays for the Cadets, but they're able to recover this time. A.J. Card, the senior wide receiver, jumped on it, and it ends up in a gain of 9.
Yeah, what a heads-up play there by the receiver. Ball came loose there, kind of threw it forward in a sense, and thought he'd come up with it, jumped on it. Obviously, Kennedy's defense, they had him kind of spread out. Not able to come up with it, but, kudos to that receiver there to make that play.
Couple of chances early on for Kennedy to get turnovers. Here's another run on 2nd and 1, and Cashin to the second level again, brought down by Santos Ortiz, but not until he's into Kennedy territory at the 44-yard line on a gain of 7.
Yeah, he goes in there right there again gets to the right side. We haven't seen St. Thomas throw it yet tonight. Obviously, it's still early in the game. We're only 3 minutes into tonight's game.
St. Thomas Academy threw just 6 passes last year against Kennedy in that 42-31 win. Herzog hands to the fullback this time. First man through, got by Terrell Williams, still on his feet. Carrying Kennedy players into the secondary to the 39-yard line, an 11-yard gain for the St. Thomas Academy fullback, number 26, Jack Nozell. He's a 6-foot junior. Great effort there.
Yeah, Jack Nozell, 6-foot junior, 185 pounds. I think that might be all muscle right there on that kid. He's just kind of plowed his way. Obviously, we've heard about Coach Anderson tackling. Doesn't matter how you tackle, you got to tackle him. And there, Kennedy did not do a good job of tackling.
Said the 39-yard line, actually the 34-yard line. So first down and 10. The toss wide now to Cashin. Cuts it upfield. Again to the second level before he's brought down by Coutier, and a nice gain of 4 yards on first down, setting up 2nd and 6. Let's go through our keys to the game here tonight, Paul. Number one, the turnover battle. Kennedy needs to win it, maybe even +2 or +3. Number two, they need to win on first down defensively. And then number three, they need to win on third down offensively. I know that might sound tricky, so if they can get first down stops on defense, that's going to help them out a lot. And it's going to be third down now as this run goes only to the 33-yard line, or to the 28-yard line. So third down and 4 here for the Cadets in 4-down territory.
Yeah, he got in there and just kind of went in there, and then we saw one of the big old Kennedy offensive linemen, number 55, Coffee Beckley. He there just kind of grabbed him and just tried to plant his feet here on the artificial turf. Tried to pull him back and took a couple other teammates here to bring him down.
Beckley had a nice game last week against Richfield. Here's 3rd and 4. Again, I formation. Cashin up the middle, big hole. Cashin is gone. Touchdown, Cadets. 28-yard touchdown run for Cam Cashin, and St. Thomas Academy scores on its first drive.
You know, looking back at last week's game, you know, doesn't really matter who the team that scores first is. We saw Richfield bring a 86-yard kickoff return all the way back for a touchdown in the first play of the game, and then Kennedy came back and ended up, you know, after the other, 11 and a half minutes of that half, and then the rest of the game they just ended up coming back, taking the lead, and then just kept winning on those, as you were saying, winning on those third downs offensively.
The kicker is John Copeland for St. Thomas Academy. And his extra point is up, hooking to the left, but it does sneak through. So 7-0, St. Thomas Academy, 7:04 remaining first quarter. On that drive, Cam Cashin, 5 carries for 64 yards. The Cadets do it all on the ground with 8 carries on that drive. They go 72 yards.
Yeah.
78 yards for the touchdown.
Yeah, obviously, as you were saying, tackling probably one of the biggest keys on that didn't happen. You know, Kennedy missed a couple really key tackles in there. Tackles that they'd have, every other game. Maybe it's the young team. Maybe it's the cold weather. You don't want to blame it on anything, but, there's a lot of different factors that could have gone into why they weren't able to catch that, make those key tackles when they needed to.
Copeland to kick again. And back deep for Kennedy, Barber, and Southard. Another squib kick taken by one of the up men at the 28-yard line. And another nice return for Kennedy. So good field position again out to the 39-yard line on that return by Connor Lynch. Kennedy took some deep shots against press coverage on their first possession. One was a on-target pass to Ortiz that was knocked away. We'll see if they continue to press on the edges to try to stop this Kennedy ground game again. If you missed last week's game, the Eagles rushing for 507 yards against Richfield.
Yeah, it was an unreal number to tell Coach Anderson at the end of the game when we said, hey, do you know roughly how many rushing yards? And he said a lot, I think is what his answer was. And he had that one spot on.
Terrell Williams is in the backfield here on first down as the give is to Barber behind Draves out to the 40-yard line for a gain of 1. So you already got Draves in there in the backfield, and now you add Terrell Williams. You've got some serious beef in that Eagle full house backfield, but it results in just a gain of 1 on first down.
Yeah, and obviously, like we talked about last week, at halftime we asked Coach Anderson what was a key factor. He said Joe Draves, a kid that didn't carry the ball at all in the first half, making key blocks for those running backs up front. They had the two quarterback system going on all year long. Maybe Coach Anderson wishes they had a 2 running back system going on all year long. Maybe had a little bit more luck there on the ground in that suburban white district.
Same look on 2nd and 9 again. Barber up the middle, but he just runs into a whole bunch of bodies right at the line of scrimmage. So no gain there, and it's 3rd and 9.
And again, this is something we don't want to see a lot of from Kennedy. You want to have those third downs be manageable if you can get them. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, anything less than a 3rd and 5. They haven't been very successful getting those long first downs on long first downs on long third downs. Excuse me.
They're facing a 3rd down and 9 here. Again, the wind a factor tonight, and the temperatures as low as they've been really since the summer. Later in the week, highs expected to be in the upper 30s. It's under 50 degrees here at game time. Coutier on 3rd and 9, deep drop back, sets up shop, now flush to his right, under pressure. Still on the move, finally heaves it deep downfield, and it was nearly intercepted. That would have been just about as good as a punt, but it was knocked away by the defensive back Steven Betts, again intended for Ortiz. So a couple of 3 and outs for Kennedy, and Coutier will drop back in punting formation.
Yeah, like the hustle there by Isaac Coutier to get out of the pocket there and beat the rush. I didn't like his choice to go downfield. He had 2 defenders wide open, and it hit the hand of the defender wide open downfield. It didn't even hit his own guy. So I like the heads-up play. I think in the end of the day, he should have just thrown it away and saved the hair falling out of Coach Anderson's head.
Again, Coutier could fake if he wants to in this. He takes a couple steps, then releases a low kick that takes a great Kennedy bounce inside the 10, inside the 5, and the Eagles try to bat it back into play, but the official right on the goal line there signals touchback. So a nice punt by Isaac Coutier of 60 yards, but it'll only be a 40-yard net. But even so, that's a good net in high school, and it pushes St. Thomas Academy back to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be the first time we'll see St. Thomas, run the whole field here. They come out of a different conference. They play in the conference with teams like North St. Paul or Hastings, Park Cottage Grove, those guys. So they have a little bit different schedule. They see different competition. They don't see any of the 6A competition that, both the likes of Kennedy and Jefferson saw this year.
They did play Apple Valley, so that's a common opponent, and St. Thomas Academy lost to the Eagles 14-0. So possession number 2 for the Cadets, and they keep it on the ground with Cashin, and he's pushed back this time after a gain of 3. Stephen Mason and Terrell Williams in on that tackle for Kennedy. Let's run down the St. Thomas Academy schedule. They beat North St. Paul in the opener 16-0, then that lost to Apple Valley. They won at Henry Sibley 28-7, but then lost at Matamidi 21-14, so they were 2-2. Then they won at Hastings 14-7, but then back-to-back losses to Hopkins and Park, and finally a regular season-ending victory against Hill Murray 35-14.
Yeah, and that game against Hopkins, very close, came all the way down right to the wire. Ended up losing only by 2 points there, 19-21.
So kind of an up-and-down season for St. Thomas Academy. Remember, after defeating Kennedy in last year's section, they went on to the state tournament. They're hoping for a similar run this year. Here's 2nd and 7. Cashin has to stutter step in the backfield, and he's swallowed up at the 26-yard line. Minimal gain, call it 2, as Terrell Williams in on that stop again and sets up 3rd down and 4 now for the Eagles to get a chance to get off the field.
Yeah, that'd be great for Kennedy's defense there. They've been on the field way too long all night. We're about 3/4 of the way through this first quarter, and on their 2 drives, Kennedy's only had probably 2 minutes of possession total compared to what St. Thomas Academy has had. 3rd
and 4, they try the hard count. Kennedy stays pat, and now they'll toss it out to Cashin. Has to cut it back upfield, and he breaks a tackle, and he has the 1st down. Terrell Williams went for the strip, and Cashin was able to gain an extra yard and a half after that contact. He needed 4, he got 6, and it's a Cadet 1st down.
Yeah, he came in right there and gets a couple good blocks right up front there and is just able to dominate right up there on the line. Again, Kennedy's defensive line not doing so well tonight.
So the Cadets again, 8-play drive on possession number 1, and now churning more of this clock under 3 minutes as the handoff to the fullback again. And that's Jack Nozell on his 2nd carry. Not as successful as the first one, but he still picks up 5 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, again, fullback there just kind of runs right up there. One of the Kennedy defenders there grabs his feet and is just holding on, hoping that somebody will come up. And finally Terrell Williams came up and helped bring him to the ground there.
2nd and 5 from the 37-yard line. Again, I formation, Nozell in front of Cashin. The first throw of the night for St. Thomas Academy, and it's complete out to the wide receiver, number 3, Lewis Kelly. He's hit pretty much immediately by DeAndre Lovelace back in the Kennedy lineup after missing a week, and it's a first down gain of 6 on the first pass for the Cadets.
Yeah, I like that play call. Nice short pass there. That's something that Kennedy has struggled against all year. They do a really good job against the long passes. They got a great secondary. Both in their corners and their safeties do a great job. But the short pass in the middle linebacker area is not where they've been too good defending yet this year.
Back to Cashin on the ground to the second level before Barber is in on that tackle, along with Jalen Moore. So you see some guys playing both ways for Kennedy as Cashin picks up a nice gain of 7. And you even saw in that pass play, Paul, really safe call. Doesn't get much safer than a quick 5-yard stop route. Very conservative game plan for St. Thomas Academy, but so far working out well. Cashin running wide to the left, trying to be tracked down by Moore, and now hit by Coutier and spun down. Short of the marker, he'll be about a yard short, so he picks up 2 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 1.
That was a really long 2 yards to try to get only 2 yards out of. Kennedy did a great job getting to the outside there, stopping them. That's where they've had a lot of success tonight, and that's where Kennedy's going to have to work on strengthening here going into the second quarter and throughout the rest of the game, is watching that outside rush.
10 carries, 84 yards already for Cam Cashin here in the first quarter. As the clock now on the move with 1:10 and counting here in the first quarter. Section 3 quarterfinal here from Mendota Heights. Jerry Brown Field on the campus of St. Thomas Academy. 3rd and a yard, and the snap is fumbled. Ball loose. The 3rd fumble for St. Thomas Academy, and Kennedy has it. The first turnover of the night goes to the Eagles, and they take over near midfield.
Big old Coffee Beckley there right in the middle of it, came up with it. One of the most heads-up players we talked to on week in and week out on Inside Kennedy football. Key person right there on that defensive line. Gets the strip, able to keep his head up and pulls it right into himself. Gives Kennedy some great yardage.
So the Eagles near midfield will go into the pistol formation here. So Draves out of the backfield, and now it's just Barber. A different look for Kennedy. They go read option with Coutier. That's to pitch it back to Barber. This is well played by the Cadets. Barber, though, still on the move. Finally tracked down. Did what he could, but it's still a 3-yard loss. So the Eagles go with the new wrinkle there, but credit the Cadet defense. They were ready for it.
Yeah, they were all over that one. Nice heads-up play there on behalf of Terrell Barber, Davis Barber, because he saw he had nothing going on in front of him.
Yeah, it could have been about a loss of 6.
Yeah, he was able to turn around and got some back that he couldn't get back. Even though, you end up losing 3 on it, it ends up being a lot better than what it could have been.
Ortiz wide left and wide right is Eric Avilas here on 2nd and 13. Coutier to throw, looking towards Ortiz, makes a man miss on the catch. And drives forward, and he's very close to the first down. Very similar to the Cadet pass play from last possession, just a quick out to Ortiz, Kennedy's leading receiver, and he's right near the sticks.
Yeah, being up here, I'd mark him as a first down.
Yeah,
it looks like
first down.
Clearly about a yard or two past it. Great play there by Ortiz to turn around and then, take a couple tacklers and pull them along with them to gain a few yards.
Just a subtle little thing, but taking that first step back to the ball as he made the catch, that created a little bit more separation between him and the defensive back. He was able to get around that man and get upfield for the first Kennedy first down of the game, and it comes on the final play of the first quarter. St. Thomas Academy leading Kennedy in this quarterfinal playoff game 7-0. So far for the Eagles, they've won the field position battle. Both of their drives, Paul, started near the 40-yard line. St. Thomas Academy both one on the 20, one on the 22. Mm-hmm. And even though the Cadets marched down, they got a touchdown the second drive, they got to midfield, but then they stalled out on that fumble, and Kennedy finds themselves only down 7 in a ball-controlled first quarter for both teams.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting seeing a team come in, or I guess we're coming into here, but to see a team play almost identical to how Kennedy plays. It's not something you see a lot in high school football. A lot of times, the teams you see Jefferson, Cooper, Apple Valley, all those teams. They're all very upbeat, very fast paced. They throw it deep, and Kennedy and St. Thomas Academy, both kind of old school teams. They slow it down. They try to keep the ball on the ground and keep the clock running.
1st and 10. Another quick out. Another catch. Santos Ortiz to the 34-yard line. Another quick gain of 5. Maybe they see something over there. They've taken advantage 2 straight plays.
Yeah, and Santos Ortiz there twice. The first 2 times he had the throws come to him, he had a couple good defenders on him. The last 2, he's been kind of open there, has a little bit of breathing room to work with when he's making those catches.
It's been a very stingy St. Thomas Academy defense. Just one team has more than 3 touchdowns against them this year. A pitch to Barber on 2nd and 5, and Barber is going to take it all away. A 35-yard touchdown for the Eagles.
Barber.
Is there a flag, though?
There is a flag at about the 38-yard line, 37-yard line in the area holding.
Barber cut up field. First time he's had daylight tonight, but it may come back, and the Eagles walking back like it will be erased.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a 10-yard holding there on Kennedy. That's a call that killed him last week.
And it's a chop block on the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't a hold on the edge that created that lane. That was clean over there. It was a chop block at the line of scrimmage that will cost Kennedy this touchdown. So instead of an extra point away from tying it, now Kennedy at midfield facing a 2nd and 20.
Yeah, that's not what
that's a killer penalty.
John Anderson wants to see. I think John Anderson saw something immediately because I saw him yelling at a player on the field. John Anderson, a great coach over there on the Kennedy sidelines. He's done a lot of different coaching at different levels, and I think he saw it well before anybody else did, other than the official standing in the backfield.
First penalty of the night for either team. Cost Kennedy a touchdown, and now 2nd and 20. These are the situations that are difficult for these Eagles. They're not an explosive offense. Coutier to throw, looking far side, and that pass may have slipped out of his hands. On a long out intended for Aviles. Remember, the wind is a factor, but I don't know. That one was wide, right? Maybe it got, I think it just slipped out of his hands. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, that ball just came out, and I thought, where was he throwing that to? He's throwing it up into somebody in the stands there. Wind obviously could have been a factor. He is throwing into the wind here right now, so being blown back just a little bit wouldn't be too surprising, but it is a pretty strong wind. They had a wind advisory for most of the day today.
So 3rd and 20 here for the Eagles. Keep our eye on Barber for a potential screen or draw. Coutier hoists it deep downfield, up for grabs, and incomplete. Again, they tried Ortiz, but in good position, even with the contact there, the defensive back, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, you see Ortiz there, little hand shoving there both ways. Like the officials not calling it, letting the kids play out those plays.
Yeah, as an Eagle fan, you want that to be called.
Yeah,
but
I would want it called, but
as a football fan as well, probably a good no call.
Yeah.
So 4th down and 20 for Kennedy, and Coutier back to punt.
And I will say that the officials are doing a great job tonight letting the kids play, unlike last week where we saw a penalty-ridden game.
Yep. Good snap. Coutier again now this time into the wind, and you see how it affects this punt. And it takes a couple of bounces back down at the 40. So that is a 10-yard punt. Remember that the previous punt with the wind went 60 into the end zone. So you see the difference of the wind factor tonight. St. Thomas Academy, best field position. And for the Eagles, after a good-looking drive, a couple completions, unfortunately had that holding penalty on that touchdown run.
Yeah, a killer there that basically, that kills a lot, that entire momentum here. Nice thing is it did give us the defense. They had a couple first downs. The defense did get a little extra time to rest, so they may be coming out here with a head full of steam.
They show blitz. We have a new quarterback in. He hands off to Cashin, and he's met by Stefan Mason after a gain of a yard. The new quarterback is Charlie Fafinski. He's a 6'2", 170-pound junior. They did play 3 quarterbacks throughout the year, did St. Thomas Academy. The third guy, possibly in the lineup, Liam McManus, number 2. We'll see if he plays tonight.
Yeah, we've seen multiple quarterback situations with multiple teams all year long.
2nd and 9. The handoff to Cashin, brought down again.
Cashin, the ball carrier.
Kofi Beckley, he recovered a fumble and now makes that play. And these are the situations Kennedy was hoping to put the Cadets in. It's 3rd and 9.
Yeah, big old Kofi Beckley there, right in the front, able to just put his big old bare arms up and brings him right down. Obviously, that was something in the first half or the first quarter that Kennedy was unable to do. Good to see that they're doing it now, and maybe Coach Anderson got a little loud with them on the sidelines about that.
So Fafinski here on 3rd and 9 goes back into the pistol with Cashin behind him. He'll look to throw with the wind, floats it out, and it's caught. Going to be a first down, and out of bounds. They were able to find Callan Happy in the flat for a gain of 13 and a Cadet first down.
Yeah, he gets right out there wide open. No, like I said, those short passes, Kennedy's not done a very good job at blocking or defending all year, and that shows right there. They get a 13 or 14-yard pass there, and it's obviously another first down.
So now into Kennedy territory at the 46-yard line, 9:35 remaining here in the first half. The Cadets leading Kennedy 7-0. Man in motion, who he bobbles the snap. It's then stopped by Jalen Moore. Again, it was Happy who almost fumbled it out. It would have been the 4th Cadet fumble of the first half. He latches on, but kind of blows up the play himself, and it's a gain of maybe a yard.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the football. It's cold, so maybe their hands aren't used to the colder weather. You see a lot of players wearing gloves. When your hands are cold and it gets hit by something kind of hard, it stings a little bit.
Fafinski to A.J. Card, and he makes the catch inside the Kennedy 40 to the 39-yard line to set up 3rd down and short. First catch for A.J. Card brings up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, heads-up play there right in the middle, little slant route, comes back over the middle, and he's wide open there. Kennedy's linebackers there, credit them there. They were able to stop him, unlike the past couple of ones where those short passes to the outside they weren't able to stop.
4-down territory for the Cadets. Kennedy showing blitz on 3rd and 3. Handoff up the middle, and it will be a first down as spinning with the necessary yardage, Liam McManus. We mentioned he's played some quarterback this year. Here he dots the I, and on a big 3rd down and short, fights for the extra yardage for the first down.
Yeah, keeps his legs churning all the way through that, and that's any offensive coordinator, offensive player, you love to see those running backs just keep their legs churning all the way through, and he does that. He does a great job of that, and that's how he's gotten some success this year.
McManus stays in there on 1st and 10. Fafinski back to throw, wants the deep ball, and it's incomplete. He was trying to float it to Riley Miller. Good coverage by DeAndre Lovelace, and it forces 2nd down.
As a Kennedy fan, I'm glad that their long ball passes aren't working out too well either. As a fan of football, those are some exciting plays. Again, that one was.
It's tough with the wind tonight, and they had Miller open deep, but it's got to be perfect positioning by the throw, especially considering the wind, and you saw a little bit of hesitation there by the wide receiver. So 2nd down and 10. They'll toss it to the wide side, and McManus dragged down from behind. And it's the big man, Joe Draves, the bowling ball, this time on defense. You see his speed. He's not really a defensive lineman. They play him there, but he's more of a fullback or linebacker size, and he has the speed to track McManus down for no gain.
Yeah, he goes right through that offensive line there of St. Thomas Academy and is able just to get his arms on the running back there. It takes him down. Great open field tackle there by
Third down, Kennedy rushing force, screen set up, caught, and spinning off a tackle. Reaching for the first down was Cashin. He's going to be short of the marker with the wind, probably still too far for a field goal. It'll be 4th down and 4, gain of 6, and we expect the Cadets to go for it.
Yeah, 4th down territory, even if they don't get it, Kennedy then starts up there at the 30-yard line and has to work all the way downfield into the wind. So that's the one thing that they have right now is if they wanted to kick it, St. Thomas Academy does have the wind in their favor.
Big play here. Fafinski, flat route again, caught by Happy, and he's got the first down. Looked like the identical play to earlier on in this drive. He's down to the 19-yard line, 4th and 4 converted for the Cadets as Lovelace makes the tackle.
Yeah, again, I've said it all night, and I'll say it all night until, the game's over. Those open field passes, those short passes, Kennedy does not do a good job at defending. They do a great job of coming in on the run, and then we saw it against Cooper, we saw it against Apple Valley. It's those short passes that kill them throughout the game.
Fresh set of downs for the Cadets. Toss to the weak side, and Cashin just kind of runs out of room, and then he's hit out of bounds. Kennedy fortunate. No flag over there. As Cashin, really, the design of this play, he did not have a lot of room to work with over there. And Kennedy very fortunate they did not draw a late hit penalty, loss of a yard.
Yeah, surprised too. It was all the way, I think he'd already stepped out of bounds before the defender there came over and just kind of steamrolled him.
They may have said Kennedy's player was maybe blocked into him or spun into him or something. Hard to tell from this viewpoint. But anyway, 2nd and 11. Back to the ground and a nice play. Jalen Moore flying in to break up that run. It looked promising for the Cadets with a big hole, but Moore closed just in time.
Yeah, great job there. I think it's a loss of 1 there on that play, on that rush.
Now 3rd and 11, Paul, and another chance for this Kennedy defense. From here with the wind, you would imagine the field goal would be a possibility. Only about a 35, 36-yard field goal with a strong wind. And Kennedy would like to at least force St. Thomas Academy to think about that situation. Here's your 3rd and 11. Under pressure, Fafinski, and he's going to be sacked. And it's Kofi Beckley again.
Have a game, Kofi Beckley.
And now what do you do if you're the Cadets? You can't punt from this situation. They're going to trot out, I believe, the field goal unit.
I like that idea here. You got the wind in your back. You're right in the center of the field.
Trying to get a 2-score lead. And it'll be a 43-yard field goal attempt coming up for St. Thomas Academy and John Copeland. Again, big tailwind behind him. Kennedy should play field goal safe here, I'd imagine. Here's your 43-yard field goal, plenty of distance, and it is good. John Copeland from 43 gives the Cadets a 10-0 lead.
Yeah, plenty of leg on that one. Had some insurance on it. Went all the way through the uprights and some, and that's what the wind can do here. John Anderson talks about it every week. I want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a field goal, an extra point, or a punt. So far, they've done a very good job on their 2 drives to end with punts.
Well, you see the difference the wind has made tonight, Paul. You have Isaac Coutier with the wind, a 60-yard punt. Against the wind, 10.
Yeah.
And maybe he didn't hit that one as good, 10 as the 60, but it's still a pretty big discrepancy. And you've got Copeland just striping a 43-yard field goal with the wind in his favor.
Yeah, that was, the wind is playing a big factor, as we've said, and I don't know what the gusts are. I'm glad that we're in a nice enclosed booth and we don't have to brave the elements like Alex does down there on the field.
Nonetheless, though, a big sack by Kofi Beckley at least forces the field goal, so 10-0. 4:49 remaining before halftime as Copeland will line up to kick off for the 3rd time here in the first half. And with the wind, floats it deep, and it will go halfway into the end zone for the touchback. Kennedy will start from the 20.
Yeah, that was, again, wind being a big factor.
If you're driving a Ford and a
Obviously,
bus,
Kennedy
you're
driving into the wind there. They got their passing game going on that last drive. They got those short downs, something that they couldn't do on the first couple of drives. They got some short passes in there. That's going to be something that, St. Thomas might have to start reeling in. They got to get that ground game going. Kennedy's, that's their bread and butter on how they operate offensively.
To your point, Barber, 4 carries for -4 yards, and that's the total rushing for Kennedy in this first half. They did have that 35-yard touchdown run called back from a penalty, but so far nothing on the ground for the Eagles. Trying to change that here on just their 4th drive of the first half. The toss to Barber, trying to run wide behind Draves, and he's out to the 22-yard line, gain of 2. And remember, that touchdown run was out wide, so we know Kennedy likes to run up the middle, but they might need to adjust here a little bit more, as we've seen them go to a couple of different tosses here recently.
Yeah, getting out wide is nice. Like you said, and like I said a couple weeks ago, running east to west on a field, or sideline to sideline, isn't going to get you a lot of yardage. It's going to just make you run 2 yards, make you feel a lot longer than what it really is. You got to run that ball end zone to end zone and work right up the middle. Trust your defensive line, or offensive line, excuse me.
2nd and 8 in the modified pistol. Coutier rolling right, looking downfield as a man wide open, and John Brown just dropped it at the 27-yard line. Wouldn't have been enough for a first down, but it would have made 3rd down a whole lot easier. Instead of 3rd and 3, now 3rd and 8, and you see maybe the wind affecting that one. It doesn't necessarily affect just the quarterback. The receivers have to look that ball in maybe a little bit longer than usual.
Yeah, he's also a guy who hasn't played football in a while. He came back. Usually is more of a tight end style player than a wide out, way wide out. Maybe just the environment, the atmosphere just kind of got to him there. Obviously, you hope as a player that wasn't what happened.
Clock stops here. We do have a working play clock, which is unusual at the high school level on both ends of the stadium. So that helps both quarterbacks, and this will be the 2nd penalty on the game against Kennedy.
Ball start on the Eagles, 5-yard
and now 3rd down and 13. St. Thomas Academy yet to be penalized in this fast-moving first half with under 4 minutes to go. Here from Jerry Brown Stadium, you see the fans bundled up. Temperatures below 50 to start the game, currently in the mid-40s, 46 degrees.
It's wind gusts coming in from the airport, which is, 2 miles down the road from us at 20 miles an hour. So
here's 3rd and 13. The pitch to Barber has some running room. Barber to the 2nd level, and he should have the first down. That extra effort to keep on his feet got him out to the 31. He needed the 30. It's a big conversion, and an Eagle first down.
Yeah, great run there. Finally got some good blocking up front. We saw that on the big touchdown run. Obviously, there was the penalty that brought it back. But he was able to get to that 2nd level. The defender there just kind of tried to grab onto whatever they could. Ended up grabbing onto his jersey there and slowed him down enough to bring him back.
There's your working play clock at 6. Up the middle now, Coutier. So they ran wide a couple times, and now the middle open. And Coutier has the best first down gain for Kennedy tonight, as he's out to the 40-yard line for a gain of close to 9.
Yeah, and that's what we saw last week against Richfield. He was able to hand it off, get a couple good pitches to Barber. Then he was able to take it right up the middle. Got the defense thinking outside. He was able to take it right up the middle. He's a heads-up player, great, intelligent football mind, and was able to, make plays that, sometimes shouldn't happen. And credit him for a heads-up play there, seeing the big wide open right up the middle. 2nd and 1, 2:45 left first half. Coutier will throw on 2nd and short. Rolling right now, tucks and runs. Probably should have thrown it away. It'll cost him about a yard back to the 38-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 3. Yeah, comes out there, right about there, I think, is when, obviously looking back at it, you can say this is where you should have thrown it. This is where play is developing so fast, you know, you almost wonder if maybe he tried to throw it away and all of a sudden, you know, there's a fumble for Kennedy or on Kennedy. And, you know, on the 30-yard line, all of a sudden, you know, St. Thomas maybe takes over right there.
Both teams, all 3 timeouts. If Kennedy wants to think about using these timeouts, they need to convert here on 3rd and 3. Coutier, straight run over the left side, trying to fall forward. He's going to be very close from where that far official's running in. It appears like he may have enough. We'll have to see. They unpile all the bodies. Needed to take it to the 41. Boy, and he's right on that yard line as you look at the replay, and it is a Kennedy first down. So now they can start to look at the clock situation. 1:48 and counting. 3 timeouts remaining for the Eagles as they near midfield.
Yeah, getting a big score here would help them out immensely.
Huge.
Keeps the defense off the field for a little bit longer. They go into halftime, and they're right in this game.
Coutier to throw, floats it left side, man open, caught, 45-yard line. And out of bounds, Santos Ortiz at the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. Gain of 7. More importantly, the clock stops 1:27 remaining.
Yeah, Santiago Ortiz has got the hot hands right now for Kennedy. All three completions have gone to him for about 25 yards there. You see him right there. Try to gain a couple extra yards too. Just lowers the shoulder right into the chest of the defender and pushes himself, gets out of bounds, heads up play there to stop the clock.
Ortiz has all 3 Kennedy receptions tonight. 2nd and 4. Coutier to throw again. Sees some room up the middle, but the gap closes quickly, and he's taken down at the line of scrimmage as the play made by Sam Goley. 3rd down and 4. Clock on the move, 1:10.
Yeah, saw a big opening. I think we all saw it. And then he kind of just pushed off his lineman there and turned around and grabbed, you know, Isaac Coutier to take him down there.
Kennedy converted the last 3rd down. We're under a minute now for the half. 3rd and 4 from the pistol. Option. Barber needs to make a move and can't break through. He's stopped right at the 48-yard line. So 4th down now and a timeout taken. Presumably, you would imagine, by St. Thomas Academy, and that is the signal. Remember, the last punt for Kennedy traveled only 10 yards, so might be wondering why the Cadets are calling this timeout, but they feel they might have a chance with the wind, even though they'd have less than a minute to play, to get some more points before halftime, especially considering they just hit a 43-yard field goal.
Yeah, you know, I was surprised. I thought I saw John Anderson out in the middle of the field to call timeout. Looks like John Anderson, obviously we know him for fake punts year in and year out. And
that would be a heck of a gamble here.
I don't think he's going to do it here.
In this situation, time and score, you would see a fake.
But you know, you might see him, you know, there's 42 seconds left in the half. You know, maybe try to do a little run out the clock there, run down some time to, you know, make it so, you know, bring us into halftime there, and you're only down 10 points.
2 return men, and now with this win, they are lined up only about 20 yards downfield. So that gives you an indication of the win factor tonight. Both those return men standing at the 32-yard line, awaiting what we think is a punt from Coutier. But remember, Kennedy has had 3 fakes over the last couple of weeks in terms of punt fakes. Could use a good one here to give you some field position. It is a punt from Coutier, again short. This time takes a Kennedy bounce. They should wait as long as possible to touch it. And they down it with 35.6 on the clock. And that goes in the books as a 18-yard punt, no return. So now the Cadets 2 timeouts, 35.6. And we'll see who's under center for St. Thomas Academy, and they go back to Will Herzog, who is 1 for 1 passing tonight. The quarterback on the previous possession, he was 4 of 5, Charlie Fafinski, on that field goal drive.
We got timeout Kennedy.
They've got 3 of them, so they use one here just to make sure
Eagles call timeout. That's their first
They
timeout
are
of the half.
all on the same page here late in the half, and Kennedy's given up some late half scores. Go back to the Cooper game. Kennedy was trailing that game 7-0. Late in the first half, they give up a 52-yard touchdown run on the final play of the half to the undefeated Cooper Hawks to kind of break that game open. So you'd love to go into halftime. I mean, you never want to go in trailing, Paul, but it's only 10-0 right now. And they'd like to keep it that way over the next 35 seconds.
Yeah, and Kennedy's defense, again, the past few drives have come up huge. You're down 10 points, you're still right in it. Go down 2 scores, you got 24 minutes to play. It's going to be a little bit tougher for Kennedy. They haven't done a great job playing from behind.
Yeah, and to your point, you go down 3 scores. It's the St. Thomas Academy team that has given up more than 21 points just once this year in the regular season, so a difficult team to score on. 35.6 to work with for the Cadets. And they'll toss it wide on the first play to Cashin, and he is inbounds. Kennedy gives up a 6-yard run, but that's not bad considering the time and situation. The Cadets not using a timeout yet, under 20 seconds, and that might have been the final play of the half. They don't need to snap it again if they don't choose to.
2nd and 4 for the Cadets.
They do get the ball, or they get the choice to get the ball back here at the beginning of the second half, but it looks like they are going to go for it here. I'd watch out deep.
Yeah, the clock is at 3-2. They snap it, final play of the half, and it's a run up the middle. Kennedy will surrender some yards, but not the touchdown that the Cadets needed at the end of the half. Cashin takes it to the 47-yard line on a gain of 13, but we've reached the end of the first half here in Mendota Heights at Jerry Brown Field in this Class 5, Section 3 quarterfinal. It's the 3rd seed Cadets 10 and the 6th seeded Kennedy Eagles nothing. Some thoughts from you on the first half, Paul? Quickly before that, Paul, down on the sidelines, we find Alex Redding. Alex?
Thomas Academy head coach Jason Sidlak. Pretty easygoing first half for some part. I know it's a 10-0 lead going into halftime. But what are you looking for from your team in the second half? A slower start than you expected, or?
One thing we've been working on all year long is not making mistakes. So put the ball on the ground too many times already. So second half, I'd like no offsides and no turnovers.
What are some key strengths that you've been able to rely on so far throughout the first half?
Just trying to pound the ball inside. Cam Cashin runs hard, trying to get our O-line going. The wind doesn't really allow us to throw it that much right now, so that's what we're going to stick with, I think, in the second half.
All right, now what adjustments, if any, do you plan on making going into the locker room into the second half?
We'll go up and look at some things and go from there. I don't know at this point in time. We'll talk to the coaches, see what we got, and make some changes if we need to.
All right, thank you so much, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Throwing this Hail Mary back upstairs to you guys.
Thanks, Alex. Nice for head coach Jason Sedlak to stop by. We're at halftime here at Jerry Brown Field on the campus of St. Thomas Academy with Alex Redding, Paul Fournier, Josh Powers with you. The Cadets lead at 10-0. Some thoughts on this first half, Paul. You had St. Thomas Academy, they force a Kennedy 3-and-out. They take their first drive right down the field, 8 plays, like a hot knife through butter. They get the opening touchdown. But after that, Kennedy's defense settled down. You heard Coach Sedlak allude to some fumbles. They put it on the ground 3 times. They lost only 1, but Kennedy forced a fumble at midfield. Then they bowed up, forced a field goal, which St. Thomas Academy made in a half with not a lot of plays in this game. Kennedy kind of shrinking this game. Yes, they're down 10, but it's only a 2-score game.
Yeah, 2-score game. Kennedy's offense there hasn't gotten clicking quite yet. They had a couple explosive plays. You saw what they can do. They got to clean up some of those silly mistakes, and once they clean those mistakes up, it's gonna be.
In half from Mendota. That'll wrap up. Excuse us for the technical difficulties. That'll wrap up the first half here. St. Thomas Academy leading Kennedy here at home, 10-0. Paul and I'll be back for some first half highlights, some stats. We'll get you ready for half number 2 in this Section 3 quarterfinal. Well, so long for now from Mendota Heights. Back in a moment. Back at Mendota Heights, Jerry Brown Stadium on the campus of St. Thomas Academy. The Cadets, third seeded in this Section 3 quarterfinal. They lead Kennedy, the number 6 seed, 10-0, alongside Paul Fournier. Josh Powers back with you. First half highlights here from Jerry Brown Stadium in this Section 3 very fast-moving quarterfinal. Cam Cashin leading the way for St. Thomas Academy. 16 carries, 103 yards in the first half. He was the mail carrier on that first drive. The Cadets go 8 plays, 78 yards after a quick 3-and-out, and Cashin cashes in on that 28-yard touchdown to make it 7-0.
Yeah, Cashin just had a lights-out game. About 124 yards rushing for St. Thomas Academy tonight. Between about 3 different guys there, and they've been able to do it. They got a couple good passes through the air that have helped succeed or helped them drive down the field, gave them 10 points, and then towards the end of the half.
Yeah, Cashin again to midfield, but then they fumbled the snap. Kennedy would take over. They had 3 catches on their own right, all by Santiago Ortiz. This one gave them a first down. Kennedy was moving it here on this drive. Ortiz again takes it inside the Cadet 40, but then Kennedy looked like a touchdown, but they call a chop block on this play, Paul, that wipes out the touchdown.
Yeah, and that was heartbreaking for all Kennedy fans. It didn't look like the chop block did anything to affect how the end of that play played out, but it was one of those downers to see. And then obviously we saw a big old I think it was like a 46-yard field goal.
Yeah, that's at the end of this drive. The Cadets moving it. You see they're inside the 30 there, but then they get a first down here to Happy down to the 19. But then Kofi Beckley and company came up big. There's the stop on second down. Then on third down, Beckley with the sack right there. And we pushed it out. Maybe we thought this field goal would be tough, but it was nailed. The 43-yarder was by John Copeland. Kennedy would mount a late first half drive. Ortiz with his 3rd catch of the half bumped out of bounds, but Kennedy really not able to move it forward after there. They punted with about 30 seconds left in the half. The Cadets ran one play and basically ran out the clock. 10-0 our first half score. Some numbers from the first half. We mentioned Cam Cashin, 16 carries, 103 yards and a touchdown. The Cadets totaling 129 yards on the ground. Kennedy did have 1 sack for a loss of 6, so 123 yards net. On the ground for Kennedy, Terrell Davis Barber struggled a bit. He did have that 35-yard touchdown run called back. He finishes with 7 carries for 12 yards. Isaac Coutier, 4 carries for 10 yards. So the Eagles just 22 yards rushing. Coutier through the air, just 3 out of 9 passing for 26 yards, all of them to Santiago Ortiz. Meanwhile, through the air for St. Thomas Academy, Will Herzog was 1 for 1. Remember, they used 2 quarterbacks, and then you had Charlie Fafinski on that field goal drive, went 4 for 5 through the air for 34 yards. Just 1 turnover in the half. That was by St. Thomas Academy. And just 2 penalties in the half, Paul. Both of them on Kennedy. Obviously, the big one wiping out the touchdown for the Eagles. But they're in this one, just a 2-score game in this very condensed game with not a lot of plays. And that's the way John Anderson likes it. He wants to shorten the game as much as possible. That game script for the Eagles through the first half, I know they're trailing, but that game script is kind of where they want this game to be played.
Yeah, I totally agree. Coach Anderson likes to slow it down, run it slow, keep the ball, if he could hold the ball for the entire game, he would totally do it. But there's some sort of weird I have to kick it back at halftime, thing that he can't do, and he does a great job with it. The one thing he'd want to do is change up his defense. His defense obviously giving up 10 points, but they aren't. They weren't big points. They weren't big exciting plays. They were short plays. He's got to clean up those short passes in the middle of the field.
Yeah, to your point, just 3 double-digit runs given up, and one of those double-digit runs was the last play of the half, where Kennedy basically knows unless the guy goes 65 yards, they're not going to give up any more points. So pretty good job defending the chunk plays for Kennedy, and they've kept the score manageable here as the Eagles will receive the second half kickoff. St. Thomas Academy electing to kick here in the second half.
That's something you see, but there's an onside.
There's the onside, and did they get it?
Yep.
They did. So how about that? The Cadets kicking off in the second half. Remember, they opened the game kicking off. They recover the onside, and now they will have the wind in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a great play. One of those things I wasn't expecting to see from St. Thomas Academy coming out. I thought, it's weird that they're going to kick it.
And we were informed before the game that Kennedy won the toss in the first half, the coin toss. So obviously they elected to receive. They got the ball first. So that meant that St. Thomas Academy had the option in the second half. They chose to kick, something you rarely see, but they go with the onside.
Man.
And now it's intercepted by the Eagles.
Ortiz.
Santiago Ortiz just surrounded, so he'll go down at the 25-yard line. So how about that start? If you thought this was kind of a dull first half, just moving along, a surprise onside to open the half. St. Thomas Academy comes out throwing, and it's Ortiz with the pick. He not only leads them in receptions this year, but interceptions as well. And he has had a big impact on this game, and essentially Kennedy take out that first play, gets the first possession in both halves, which is something crazy.
Yeah, that's high school football is a great sport. You never know what you're going to expect, and so far, I wasn't expecting this second half to start the way it was.
So Kennedy down 10 with the ball following the second turnover. Coutier option pitches late, gets drilled, but got it to Barber on an accurate toss. And he carries it to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. I just want to go back to that decision by the Cadets to kick off in the second. I mean, I know the wind is a factor, but there have not been a lot of possessions in this game to give at least. Obviously, they go for the onside kick, but the thought of, okay, if you don't recover that, Kennedy gets an extra possession. I don't know about that one for me.
Yeah, football is a gambling game. You win some and you lose some. That was one that the Cadets probably.
They won it, but then the turnover gives it back to Kennedy. So now 2nd and 9. Up the middle, Barber finds a little bit of room to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 7. Again, Kennedy moving with the wind here in the third quarter. It'll be much tougher to throw in the fourth quarter, so you'd like to get some points while you can here in the third. 9th carry for Barber, 16 yards after going well over 200 yards last week. He actually had near 300 yards last week rushing.
Yeah, Barber there gets right up the middle, sees a big hole, and swallowed up by a couple of Cadets there. No blocking up front there for Kennedy on that run.
From the 30, 3rd down, and quickly to Ortiz. Did he hang on? They say he did. Somehow, and he should have a first down at the 36-yard line, a juggling catch by Santiago Ortiz, his 4th of the night.
Wow. That's all I can say. It looked like it almost was a...
How did that not hit the ground is what I'm wondering. Good thing there's no replay. We're going to take a look at it here. They can't look at it officially.
Yeah, I was surprised that... I was surprised that it wasn't picked off there. It almost looked like Santiago Ortiz dropped it right into the hands of the defender there. We're at timeout.
At least according to the officials, it never did touch the turf, so the Eagles have a first down and a timeout taken by Kennedy with 10:02 remaining in the third quarter. We're here at Jerry Brown Stadium on the campus of St. Thomas Academy alongside Paul Fournier. Josh Powers with you tonight here in this quarterfinal with Kennedy trailing St. Thomas Academy 10-0. Down on the field, we find Alex Redding. Alex?
Well, I was able to catch up with Coach Anderson heading out of the locker room, and he had a bunch of things to say about his team and their performance in the first half and as well going into the second half. I asked him about how the team is doing. He said that Kennedy's defense is playing great right now. He wants to see them keep it up. Their offense, he does not want to see them making the same mistakes that they made in the first half. And he also said that his guys have got to play loose in order to win this ball game. He said that's a very big factor. I mean, the looser you play, the better that you can be able to extend yourself. And of course, I asked him about being such a big factor in tonight's game, and it's howling down here on the field. It is cold, guys. And he said he likes passing in one direction and not so much the other as in terms of the wind. And, I asked about Santos Ortiz. He took a big shot went down at the end of the first half. And he says, don't worry about it. He's fine. So Santos Ortiz, you probably already saw, he is already out of the defense playing in the second half. He should be fine for the rest of the game. Down here on the sidelines. Back up to you guys.
45-yard line.
Thanks, Alex. A nice run on first down by Isaac Coutier takes it to the 45-yard line for Kennedy. Second down and a short 2. As you see, a nice reverse angle of that run by Coutier. As Kennedy moving it again near midfield, trying to get their first points of this quarterfinal game. Full house backfield, and we have flags.
Flag on the play.
And
It's going to be a false start.
the third penalty on Kennedy. It's been a clean penalty sheet for Jason Sedlak's Cadets tonight. No penalties
For the Eagles from their 40-yard
for
line.
St. Thomas
Following
Academy,
the
and that 2nd and 2 goes to 2nd and 7.
At least it's second down, and they have a little bit of a, they got one down to work with, make it maybe a manageable third down here. But I will say I enjoy Coach Anderson's wit. I like throwing the ball in one direction. I don't like throwing it in the other.
And I'm sure he's referring to throwing it in this direction with the wind.
Exactly.
So much easier than if they have to do that if they're behind in the fourth quarter. So it's important here in the third quarter to take advantage. Here's the 2nd and 7. Coutier will throw. Far side again, Ortiz. Or correction, not Ortiz. It's caught by, looked like Barber over there. No, correction,
88.
John Brown. I saw the 8, thought it might be 28. John Brown, remember he dropped a pass in the first half. This time latches on for 6 yards to bring up 3rd and 1.
Yeah, great play there by him. He was able to fall right there just in front of the line of scrimmage, or the first down marker, and makes a very third down manageable here. Kennedy's playbook is wide open here. They got 2 blockers right there next to Isaac Coutier.
Barber behind him, 3rd and a yard, and student body right for Coutier, and he steps through a tackle midfield out of bounds, has the first down. Same play as a moment ago where he took it for 8 yards. They find success on the right side again, and Kennedy moves the sticks.
Yeah, great job there. Coutier holds on to the ball there, gets, the 1 yard that they needed, and ended up getting quite a few on that one.
Coutier, 6 carries, 33 yards. Remember, he had 4 touchdowns last week against Richfield and more than 200 yards on the ground. 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. From midfield, Kennedy. All these short hitch passing routes, will they take a shot deep, maybe on a double move? Here's Coutier. He'll fake the handoff, drops back to pass, looking deep down this sideline, floats it on the corner to Ortiz, who's knocked down, and no call. And there's a very late flag. It looks like the official first mistakenly threw the beanbag, then the flag. It came out in any event, and it looks like it's going to be a pass interference on the Cadets.
Yeah, John Anderson was almost out to the St. Thomas logo there trying to get that flag. And, I missed the beanbag coming out, and I was really surprised because that was a late push off there by the Cadets. And one of those things
It's one of those for the Cadets. Maybe that's uncatchable, but it's kind of on the border, and it was such an egregious takedown, you almost have to throw it if there's any sort of doubt.
Yeah.
So now the ball goes from the 50 to the 35. First penalty of the game on St. Thomas Academy, and the Eagles in Cadet territory for the second time.
Hopefully they can end with a good kick here for John Anderson.
Full house backfield for Coutier, which includes Terrell Williams. And he'll hand it off to Barber, stutter step, and finds a little bit of a gap. Falls forward to the 31-yard line, pickup of 4 as the clock continues to melt away here in the third quarter.
Again, John Anderson, very smart guy there, goes long on a play that, I was expecting a run there on that first down. gets lucky, gets the extra 15 yards on they're going their way, and penalty-wise, they're equal all the way through this game, and now this offensive line for Kennedy seems to be clicking and getting some big holes for these running backs.
2nd and 6. Good gain on 1st down. We'll see what they do on 2nd down. Design run for Coutier. Cuts to his right. He's inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Pickup of 3 more. 4 down territory, of course, for Kennedy. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Again, going back to your keys to the game, very manageable 3rd down on offense there. Again, like I said, you want those 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 3s, anything kind of less than a 3rd and 5 or so. Kennedy does a really good job at succeeding and pushing through on those. Where we've seen them, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, and those are tough for anybody.
Again, full house look on 3rd and 3. Coutier to throw. Scrambles to his left with a flag down, floats it deep, and it was incomplete. And we'll check the flag. They wanted Ortiz. It's in the area of a hold, and that looks like the preliminary signal on Kennedy. Interesting decision here for Jason Sedlak. They declined it. It would be 4th down. If you accept it, you move them back 10 yards, but it would still be 3rd down. I'd probably move them back here, and it looks like that's what they will do.
Yeah. Kind of a heartbreaker for Kennedy there. You got very manageable 3rd down. John Anderson on the far sideline as we got the nice almost soundproof windows here in front of us, so we can't hear him like we do at Bloomington Stadium, but I think he was looking for another pass interference.
There was some contact down there.
Got shoved backwards away from the ball, and the defender didn't have his head turned. So he's looking for that call, and it would have been offsetting penalties, which would have been nice for Kennedy.
This is a spot foul. Now they've moved it back to the 45-yard line. Remember, it was 3rd and 3, so they say the spot of that holding was 7 yards in the backfield. So now it's 3rd and 20. Third and 20 for Kennedy. Don't need all of it yet, but you need some of it. Coutier steps up in the pocket, now flushed, wants to throw, so will circle back to his right. Trying to pick up another block, still on the move. Now back left, picks up another block, flag down. Coutier trying to run.
2 flags, 3 flags. If you have a
still
flag, throw
on his
it.
feet, he's near the 1st down. Of course it's going to come back on an adventurous run by Isaac Coutier. Hope everyone at Town Square Television enjoyed that as we're simulcasting here. Hello to all of our friends at Town Square Television.
Let's watch here.
Isaac Coutier ran about 200 yards here on this 3rd and 20.
Yeah, he goes there, then he goes back, almost like a game of Madden here. Goes back, can't get anybody, whoop, turns it around, and all of a sudden he's coming back, gets a couple good blocks there.
That was a good block, but a couple of the other ones weren't.
Yeah.
You see more flags flying.
There's about 4 flags that came in there. It was almost like if you had the flag, throw it, and we'll see what the officials say here.
There's a personal foul against Kennedy.
Personal foul called on the Eagle. That penalty is declined.
There's a block in the
Holding
back
on
on
the Eagle.
Kennedy. That one is accepted.
That penalty is accepted.
And now it'll be
Down.
3rd and forever for Kennedy. Boy, both times they've gotten down in cadet territory. Remember, they had the touchdown run called back in the 1st half. And then on 3rd and 3 here, first a holding penalty, now a block in the back. They're still moving backward in Kennedy territory. The ball is spotted at the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and I believe 49.
3rd down and 49.
That's insane that is what's there was that weird college game where
that fumble on
Yeah,
snap and he ended up with a 3rd and 90 or something like that.
3rd and 98 or whatever, and he had to go the entire field in one play.
Well, here's what we'll see happen for Kennedy on 3rd and 49. And they'll toss it to Barber. He wants to throw. He'll hoist it deep, and it's incomplete. They want an interference. Kennedy's bench all over the officials.
Don't blame him.
They wanted Ortiz. He's caught every pass for Kennedy tonight. He was in triple coverage, and there looked like some contact on the replay. but it'll be 4th down. I guess that's about the best option to try to get a first down is to get a pass interference when you're facing 3rd and 49.
You know, I don't know if he was hoping for the penalty, but, you know, the little trick play there, the halfback toss there, you know, somebody you don't expect that. We haven't seen that all year from Kennedy. And obviously, you know, being down late in the 3rd quarter here for Kennedy, it's going to take a lot of trickery. You know, we've seen him do fake punts, and we got a penalty here. And we're
The play clock was at 5.
I can't hear anything. I can hear Joe.
And unsportsmanlike on Kennedy, the Eagles need to maintain their composure here. They're only down 10. There's still a lot of game left. I know this drive is not going to end well. Now it's 4th and 54. Actually, no, more than that. With
This could be a 15-yard penalty, I think, for unsportsmanlike. Or was it only a 10-yard?
It might be half the distance since the ball was
The 20.
yeah, inside of the 30. So, boy, Coutier punting from the goal line. Remember, with the wind, and he gets off a pretty good one, driving the return man back, but it takes a sideways bounce out of bounds in Kennedy territory at the Eagle 47-yard line. So, such a promising start to the second half. You had the interception. Kennedy takes almost 7 minutes off the clock, Paul, but in one of the weirdest possessions ever, they take 7 minutes off the clock and end up punting on their own goal line.
Yeah, that was crazy. You know, on that 3rd down and 20 or whatever it was, you know, that was an insane play on its own, and you know, John Anderson liking to, you know, take the clock, run that clock down as much as he can. Obviously not too happy with the officials here, nor I think was Isaac Coutier.
So the Cadets haven't run a lot of plays in a while, but Cashin finds room up the middle. Cam Cashin, 11-yard gain. Remember, he had 16 carries for 103 yards in the first half. Remember last year against Kennedy in the playoff game, he had 23 carries for 171 yards. First down Cadets as we have an injured Eagle. And it's Jalen Moore. Kennedy so thin they can ill afford to lose anyone. Moore up quickly, that's a good sign, but he is favoring, looks like that right leg.
Yeah, it's not good. You know, it is cold. You know, maybe a hit came down, somebody came down on the leg a little wrong or anything. You know, you don't want to see a player go down, especially a senior like Jalen Moore is.
Back in the game, by the way, is the quarterback Fafinski. He'll hand off again to Cashin, spins to the 24-yard line where he's met by Kofi Beckley and Connor Lynch. Just a 2-yard gain here. 4:40 left in the 3rd quarter. Can the Kennedy defense come up big again and keep the Eagles in this game?
Yeah, that's gonna be the what's gonna end up having to happen here is Kennedy's defense. You know, their pride and their joy all year long is going to have to come up big here, you know. You know, they don't, you know, they give up a lot of points. Obviously, they play a lot of really great teams this year, and, you know, Chanhassen, Chaska, Cooper. You got 3 teams right there that are, you know, possible top 10s.
2nd and 8. Cashin left side. Hit at the 30. So it'll be 3rd down and 4. Cashin with his 19th carry of the game. For near 120 yards.
Looks like Kofi Beckley is down too right now.
And that's
a big loss.
Coming into the season, Kofi Beckley, not a player that played last year, but his progress throughout the season, considering he hasn't played much football, he's only a junior. From game 1 to here in the postseason, his progress probably more than anybody else on this Eagle team. You can see it week after week. He just keeps getting better and better. He's been a big difference maker tonight, and you just hope he's okay.
Yeah, you know, John Anderson, they talk about his idea with his football team is called a family. They, you know, forget about me, I love you. Does everything. You go out and you put everything on the line for, you know, the guys that are your line mates, your quarterbacks, your whoever's who are all out there, and Kofi Beckley there has been probably the biggest key on that. He's comes in every week. He's making himself better. Every game we see him get better and better and better. And for John Anderson to walk out before a trainer to check on a player, that means probably something not very good going on with that player. Obviously, we hope the best for Kofi and that it's just a little bruise, or you rolled your ankle the wrong way or whatever. But he does look like he's walking off on his own power right there.
So Beckley up. Doesn't look all that promising right now. That is a big loss for the Kennedy defensive line. You don't find a lot of guys, Paul, just his sheer size at 6'3", 270 with athleticism. Those guys just aren't a dime a dozen, especially at schools with the enrollment of Kennedy. Not to mention the fact that he has gained a whole bunch of experience and ability this season. That is a big loss. We'll check on his return. So 3rd and 4 for the Cadets. Play action, and the pass is caught but hit immediately. Santiago Ortiz defensively will bring up 4th down. No gain on the play, and we'll see what the Cadets do. Remember, they hit a 43-yard field goal in the first half, but that was with this wind, and now against the wind. Have to agree with this decision. 47-yard field goal, really not an option. The Cadets will go for it.
Yeah, I don't blame them. 4-down territory here. You don't get it. Kennedy starts on the 30-yard line.
Cashin behind Fafinski, 4th down. They want the bubble screen. It is juggled and caught. It's short of the marker. Kennedy turns them over on downs. It was a slow developing bubble screen. Kennedy had time to beat the blocks and make the tackle, and it looked like Isaac Coutier came up with the stop.
Yeah, Isaac Coutier. Not having the greatest game offensively that maybe he would want to have, in a senior playoff game here. Maybe wants to just lay it as a defensive player. It feels nice to lay that hit that maybe you can't do on the offense. But he sees his big guy Kofi Beckley go down. He says, you know what, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. Even though you can't play, but I'm gonna do it through you.
Kennedy still down 10 with the ball. 2:47 for the quarter. And Coutier, left side, finds some room to the 34-yard line. He's stopped there. Gain of 5 for Kennedy. Now remember, with this wind, does Kennedy want to take a shot somewhere here in the final 2 minutes before they are forced to go against the wind in the 4th quarter to try to get a big play? We'll keep our eye on that.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting call for John Anderson. He's tried to go long 3 times and he wasn't successful any of the 3 times. But all 3 times into the wind. Or with the wind, excuse me.
Coutier will keep it on 2nd down. This time right side, and he moves the pile forward across the 37, close to the 38-yard line, setting up a 3rd down and call it 2. Clock at under 2 minutes left here in the 3rd.
I like John Anderson's calls here, keeping it on the ground. That's been their bread and butter all year long. We see the bowling ball number 42, Joe Draves coming back in there.
Let's go!
He's kind of, the passing game hasn't been there successful as they want it to be. Keeping it on the ground, you're trying to wear out the St. Thomas defense might be the way to do it.
Full house backfield on 3rd and 2. Williams to the left of Coutier. Flag flies. Coutier is the 1st down, and he breaks free. A 2nd flag down. Coutier will score, and again we'll check the markers.
Coutier for the touchdown.
If it stands, it's a 63-yard touchdown, but this one might be coming back.
Yeah, let's see right here. I think there's 2 blocks in the back possibly on Kennedy. Again, great plays that they're doing. They're just shooting themselves in the foot.
You had an illegal formation on Kennedy, so even without the holding call would have nullified the play anyway. The holding call, of course, being a 10-yard penalty versus the 5-yard for the illegal formation is accepted, and another killer penalty for Kennedy. Wipes a touchdown away, and then again you go from a great situation on a 3rd and 2, so now you're 3rd down and very long once again. And again, a spot penalty that moves the ball all the way back to the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 14.
Yeah, that's a killer. I mean, we've seen Kennedy, and they do so great on those short third downs. Obviously, we've seen it twice now. They had the chop block that got the first one. You know, take those 2 penalties off the board. It's a 14-10 football game here.
And Kennedy has had 2 touchdowns wiped out via penalty. 3rd and 14. Coutier wants to keep, and that play doesn't really materialize. Met at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down, under a minute. So at the very least, you'll get the punt off with the win, which should help. But another chance to score goes by the boards for the Eagles, as they continue to trail by 10.
Yeah, that's
25, correction. Colin Happy and Hayes Redding against for the Cadets.
That's a game changer right there. That you lose 14 points off the board on 2 unnecessary penalties.
Here's the punt. Coutier waiting, now lets it go. Line drive kick, returnable, caught at the 40-yard line, and it's returned by Happy into Kennedy territory. Sheds a blocker at the 30 and tracked down from behind at the 21-yard line. The Cadets, with 5.1 seconds left in the third, will start with very good field position.
Not what Kennedy was hoping for. You know, hoping to get a nice low kick there. Nice block there for Happy there. Gets out to the outside, and he's able to go right down the field. And you know, special teams has also been a thing that's killed Kennedy. They don't have big guys, but they've
from the Eagle 22-yard line.
But they do what they can with what they have, and you know, back-to-back weeks they have big kick returns for opposing teams.
Good sign for Kennedy. Kofi Beckley back in on this possession. Probably the final play of the quarter as they hand it off. And not much there, maybe a yard.
Jack Nozell, the ball carrier.
For Jack Nozell, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter.
Eagles 0.
A quarter of missed opportunities for Kennedy. Remember, the half started with a surprise onside kick recovered by St. Thomas Academy, but then they threw an interception on the first play. Kennedy kept the ball for almost 7 minutes, drove deep into Cadet territory, but then penalties bounced them back. After a 4th down stop, they got the ball back again, had a long touchdown nullified, and we've reached the end of 3, and we have the same score at the half, 10-0 St. Thomas Academy.
Yeah, you know, credit Kennedy's defense here in the second half, or at least in that third quarter there. You know, St. Thomas has had, you know, they've had a couple decent drives there. They push down, they hold them up from scoring anything. They still are down 2 scores. Interesting thought that Kennedy is going to have to play down, play from behind here in the 4th quarter.
And they'll be going against the wind. Down on the Kennedy sideline, Alex Redding. Alex?
Visiting sidelines here in Mendota Heights, here at St. Thomas. We are here with the Kennedy cheerleading squad here tonight in support of their team and their school. And I mean, braving a lot of wind. Just really whipping all you gals out here tonight, and some of the colder temps as we drop later into the evening. Just kind of share with us your name, grade, and what do you like most about cheerleading at Kennedy? All right, we're going to start with your game. You won last week.
Yeah, I was. My name is Cynthia. I'm in 10th grade. I like about cheerleading, I like to come out and show my spirit.
All right, how about you, ma'am?
My name is Maya. I'm in 9th grade. And what I like about cheerleading is that we are like a little family, and it's just really good.
All right, moving on to this side. How about you?
My name's Condi. I'm in 10th grade, and it's definitely the bonds we make. Really tight.
Very, very tight. I mean, you guys look like a very close-knit group, by the way. All right, how about you?
My name's Marka. I'm an 11th grader. My favorite thing about cheer would just have to be how everyone just works together and just the attitudes that everyone gives towards everything.
All right, and lastly you.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm in 9th grade, and my favorite thing is bringing the fans together to one unit.
And it's very important in these playoff games. All right, I mean, I hear you got a special cheer for us here at BEC-TV. All right. All right. So take it away.
BEC! 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 Last time, BEC!
squad down here on the visiting sidelines for BEC-TV and Town Square
Correction, that was
Television.
Jack
Send it
Nozell
back
for the
upstairs
cadet
to the guys
touchdown.
in the booth. The man,
Number 26,
both
Jack
of them,
Nozell.
I should say, named Paul and
1.5 yard
Josh.
touchdown run for the cadets.
Thanks,
John
Paul.
Copeland
Unfortunately,
wins into
St.
the
Thomas
extra point
Academy
attempt.
getting it into the end zone for just a second time tonight to break this one open as we start the fourth quarter. A 2-yard touchdown run for Jack Nozell. And the point after from John Copeland with a healthy win.
Copeland
So he
kicks
doesn't
is good.
need a lot
Extra
on it, but it
Oh,
is
good.
no good. He pushed it wide right.
Kick is no
And
good.
that keeps it technically to a 2-score game. Kennedy would need 2 touchdowns
Makes the score
and
Cadets
2
16,
2-point
Eagles
conversions
0.
here in the fourth quarter against the Wind. So the Cadets take advantage of that big punt return by Happy. They get a nice 17-yard completion down inside the 5-yard line to Lewis Kelly, and they pay it off with the touchdown.
Yeah, that's been the difference tonight. St. Thomas has gotten the ball down towards the end zone. They get good field position. Then they're following through. They're not shooting themselves in the foot at all. Kennedy gets it close, and then all of a sudden, they get silly penalties, or, you don't want to say maybe penalties that aren't supposed to be there or whatever. But it's one of those things where, the officials have been doing a great job of letting the kids play tonight. They have to call certain penalties when they see safety issues, and obviously tonight has just gone against Kennedy.
Yeah, the penalty is the big story of the game. St. Thomas Academy 1 penalty for 15 yards, Kennedy 8 penalties, 2 of them wiping out touchdown runs. 16-0, still 11:26 remaining in the fourth quarter. Kennedy, remember, against the Wind here in the fourth, and Copeland did what he
Copeland's kick is into the end
did
zone.
last time, kicking off with the Wind. Hits it into the end zone for a
Eagles will start
touchback.
first and 10
The
from their
Eagles
20-yard
will
line.
start from the 20. Let's take a look at the bracket here in this section 3. Obviously, we have the 3-6 matchup here with St. Thomas Academy, the home team, against Kennedy. The other game tonight, the 4-5 matchup.
That is, I believe that is New Prague and Hastings.
You are.
Or, excuse me, Henry Sibley.
Henry Sibley and Hastings. Hastings, the road team in that matchup. Apple Valley awaits the winner of that one. Park of Cottage Grove awaits the winner of this one. Kennedy down a couple of scores and a couple of 2-point conversions as Barber to the 23-yard line. That was a Park team that St. Thomas Academy, if they go on to win this one, they were defeated in the penultimate game of the regular season, 27-7.
He's Reading on the stop for the Cadets.
Park always,
Second and 7, the ball.
always a great team.
23-yard
Coming
line.
out of 5A, obviously they always compete with Apple Valley at the top of this 3-5A section.
That Apple Valley team, I'd be surprised if they do not go on to win this section. We saw them twice this year. They
Sadly.
might be, unfortunately for both Kennedy and Jefferson, as they won big both times, but it's an Apple Valley team that we feel like can challenge anyone in 5A, and that includes teams like Cooper and Chaska, who are undefeated. Here's Barber running to his left.
Barber, the ball carrier.
Correction, to his right, then cuts back left. Out to the 27-yard
Dan
line,
Bowley on the
third
tackle.
down and 3.
Third down
Barber
and
12
3.
yards in the
Eagles
first
from their
half.
27-yard line.
Here in the second half with 15 yards on 5 carries. He just hasn't gotten going tonight. Had that 35-yard run in the first half called back. Kennedy needs this conversion as we're about to hit 10 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Full house look. St. Thomas Academy bringing everybody up to the line of scrimmage. Toss. Barber tries to cut it back, and he's going to lose a couple.
Barber, the ball
Back
carrier.
to the 25-yard line.
Flag.
Very
Flag on the
late.
play.
Probably a post-play foul, you would imagine.
Yeah, it looks like it's on Kennedy based on the way the cadets are walking off to the sideline.
It would be fourth down. And it's on
Personal
St.
foul
Thomas
called on the
Academy. So that will keep the drive alive. Just their second penalty, an automatic first down for the Eagles. So that'll breathe a little bit of life into them. Speaking of life, Jefferson, they're in the postseason play tonight against a very good Mankato West team down in Mankato. They were trailing near the half, but just by 7, 28-21.
I did just look again, and it's not looking too good for them.
Okay.
42-21 with about 7 minutes to go in the third. So.
Fresh set of downs for Kennedy at the 40. Coutier hands it to Barber, hit immediately in the backfield and spun for a loss as St. Thomas Academy dialing it up here, bringing blitzers. Swallowed up there by Blake Kinzer, a senior. We send it down on the sidelines to Alex. Alex?
For the Eagles from their 38-yard line.
And Jalen Moore talked to one of the assistant coaches on the Kennedy sideline, and he said that they're pretty banged up, but they should be able to continue playing in this football game, guys.
Thanks, Alex. And we did see Beckley back in last series. Great sign, and good to hear Moore is not having too big of issues as well. 2nd and 12 for the Eagles, again against the wind, and this pass floating out, and it is incomplete. They wanted to hit Montario Southard along the sidelines, but it floats a little bit, and he's hit right as he tried to receive that pass. Incomplete. 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, it almost looked like maybe shoe came off there too at the end. It's kind of a black blob there sitting on the 45-yard line when once he went out of bounds.
Isaac Coutier tonight, 5 out of 12 through the air for 39 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. 3rd and 12. Coutier over the middle, and contact, incomplete. Looked pretty well timed. They were trying to get it to Michael McGaffey, the quarterback, to start the year. Split time with Coutier, now a full-time wide receiver. 4th down, and the Eagles at least for now keeping their offense on the field.
I like that call.
I do too. I mean, it's the playoffs here.
You got to go for it. It's like that onside kick.
Yeah, whether you lose, you're not going to gain much kicking into this wind anyway. You might get 20 yards out of it if you're lucky. You might as well go for it here on 4th and 12.
And even if they have to, Coutier being their punter, he could, maybe short kick it or something at the very end.
4th down, and just before the play, whistles timeout Kennedy with 8:41 remaining in the 4th quarter. We're at a very windy and suddenly chilly Jerry Brown Stadium here in Mendota Heights on the campus of St. Thomas Academy. Josh Powers alongside me, Paul Fournier down on the sidelines, Alex Redding. Section 3 quarterfinal here in 5A. St. Thomas Academy led 10-0 at the half. They stretched to 16-0 moments ago on a touchdown run from 2 yards out, and it's been missed opportunities for Kennedy. Remember, they lost to the Cadets last year by 11 in the postseason. They've had 2 touchdown runs called back via penalties. Both of those drives resulted in punts. The Eagles have had some chances tonight. They've been +2 on the turnover battle. They've done some good things, but those 8 penalties for Kennedy loom large, and now they face a 4th down and 12, really with the game on the line here, even though there's still 8:41 to go.
Even if you don't worry about the other 6 penalties. There's 2 penalties that John Anderson's going to want to, talk to his team about here.
Yep. So Coutier on 4th and 12, flushed right, looking for OT. Ortiz goes short, pass is tipped, and incomplete. The turnover on downs. Montario Southard had the yardage, but he just kind of ran out of room here, Paul, and it was good defense by the Cadets as well.
Yeah, comes in there, see Southard there come over right in front of our camera crew there. All volunteer camera crew, I should say, so they're out there braving the elements, bringing you guys this game. So want to say a big shout out to the boys and girls and the men and women out there in the truck, out on the field, upstairs, up on top of the place. It's probably got way more windier than than you and I have it right here in this nice little press box that we have.
I do a lot of college games, high school games. This is as good of a press box as you're going to find at any of those levels. Now the Cadets can start to work on the clock, a yard gain. Remember, wasn't a few years, short years ago, where we did a playoff game in the snow in the elements down at Minneapolis South.
I remember that. That was it was you and Brian back when Brian was around.
We were up on top of. They didn't really have a press box. We were up on top of what they did have, and we were getting snowed on the entire game. So this a little bit better than that in this heated press box.
Speaking about snow, that dreaded four-letter S word. They're talking about that on Friday.
Here's a big loss on second down. Jalen Moore. Looks like that injury is healed quite nicely as he spins down, cashing for a big loss.
Yeah, comes out, big, huge hit there. You get the injury, maybe you go sit out a couple plays, you rest up, and you say, kind of maybe makes you a little bit mad, and you want to go out there and just hit something
Third down
really
and
hard.
15 for the Cadets at the Eagle 43-yard line.
That was a loss of 6, so now third down and 15. With the wind here, the Cadets, 7:25 to go. And the quarterback in there is Fafinski. He drops back to throw, floats it out to the sidelines, and it's dropped incomplete.
Brings up fourth down.
They had A.J. Card open, but he just couldn't quite hang on. He was hit right as he received the football.
Yeah, Kennedy looked out there. You see him right there open.
He dropped it even before the hit. Lovelace was there, though, but that ball was coming free. So an opportunity there missed for the Cadets. They will line up to punt with 7:13 remaining. Back deep for Kennedy, Barber, and Ortiz, standing at about the 15-yard line.
You know what, the way the wind is right now, you could have kicked a field goal and you have a chance.
That's true. That 43-yarder in the first half had plenty to spare. This kick tumbles into the end zone for a touchback.
Eagles will start first and 10 from their 20-yard line.
And so the defense comes up big. Remember, Kennedy still within 2 scores. Now you need the 2-point conversions too, but mathematically still a 2-score game. 7:08 to go. But given the time remaining, Paul, you'd have to think some chunk plays are in the offering. Tough to do that through the air here against this wind this way, the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough. If they do it, they might be doing short passes and hoping for a lot of blocks there.
Coutier will hand it off. Barber gets a couple out to the 22-yard line. Remember, the wind's such a factor tonight that Jason Sedlak's team chose to kick off in the second half when they had the option to receive.
Yeah, that was an
one of the more
call.
Interesting decisions that I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that was an interesting call. I was thinking, why is he going to kick off here? And surprised us with the onside kick, and ended up not being able to finish that drive, being the first play they threw the interception. But I like that call by the Cadets.
Coutier complete to Ortiz on his 5th catch of the night. He's out to the 27-yard line, 3 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, that was a great play there. Gets out there, just unable to get to that first down marker, but it's a very manageable third down. Kennedy got to keep their composure here.
Santiago Ortiz, another guy, just a junior for Kennedy. Really playing a strong game. 5 catches on offense, had that interception on defense. 3rd and 3. Coutier to his right, picks up a nice block. Hit as he throws, and it's going to be dropped. It should have been picked off at the 45-yard line. Luke Herzog had visions of maybe a pick 6, but he forgot to reel in the football.
Yeah, nice job there. Coutier gets down and right there, had it. Maybe a step too far towards the sideline to get it. Had to kind of reach back over his body. Do credit Southard there. Unable, do the tip drill all the time in practice. Almost able to come up with that one, which would have been huge for Kennedy.
Yeah, imagine if that was tipped a yard further and Southard was able to latch on. But instead, 4th and 3. They'll go for it. Coutier on a design to run, barreling forward, just needed to touch the 30-yard line. He crosses that to the 31, so it's a first down. They convert on 4th down. Kennedy keeps the drive alive, but we're down to 5:39 remaining.
And I do like what we're hearing from the Kennedy sideline. You know, they're down 16 right now, but they're still very upbeat. They're still into it. They're, you know, there's no players sitting on the bench hanging their heads. There's nobody doing that on that far sidelines. They're actually all standing together trying to stay warm right now, I think is what the idea is over there on the far sideline.
Just Davis in the backfield, 4 wide receivers. Coutier to throw again, flushed out of the pocket, heaves it downfield, jump ball, and it is intercepted by the Cadets. The first turnover for Kennedy tonight, picked off by Stephen Betts.
Yeah.
Just outfought Ortiz for the football.
Again, you know, I like the call there for the officials to let them play it there. Both guys were, you know, hand battling on that one. So gotta credit that. You know, they've come so close so many times. You'd think they were gonna come down with one. Surprised, Coutier there threw it as, you know, unwilly-nilly kind of, as he's usually pretty good about it, and just kind of let that one fly without really planting his feet. Kind of threw it from his back foot. And
well, you're forced to try to make plays. You're down 16 here with under 6 minutes to go. But this has been a stingy Cadet defense all season long. Happy goes in motion. They hand it off. Bobbling it there was the running back, Keone Abedick. And the junior takes it for a couple of yards. 2nd down and 8. Going back to that St. Thomas Academy defense, they shut out North St. Paul. They held Sibley to 7. They held Hastings to 7. And they held Hill Murray to 14. Maybe most impressively, Paul, second game of the season, they held Apple Valley to 14 points. Now they lost that game 14-0, but that gives you the kind of indication of how strong this defense has been all year.
Yeah, that's the pride and joy of this Cadets team, is their defense.
On the jet action, Happy goes out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. That's the bad news. Good news is he picks up, if you're a Cadet fan anyway, a first down for St. Thomas Academy into Kennedy territory.
Yeah, great play there. Comes around the outside, runs right into Isaac Coutier. You know, Isaac Coutier not having the night that he'd want to have as his final game as a senior here out in Mendota Heights. I liked his heads-up play to kind of let up a little bit on not, you know, absolutely obliterate Hoppy.
Here's Amadick, and he gets to the second level, to the 30-yard line, a chunk pickup of 13. That is the second double-digit run in the second half for St. Thomas Academy. So it's been a strong effort from the Kennedy defense all night, maybe finally starting to fatigue here in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, and that's what we saw against that in that Cooper game.
Brandon Shostrand, co-captain on the stop for that one for Kennedy. Let's talk about some of the seniors. Shostrand, a co-captain. Coutier, a co-captain, along with 2 more co-captains in Terrell Williams and McGaffey. A bunch of other seniors for Kennedy. Had that big win over Richfield last week, the highlight of their season. So we've got a penalty here on sportsmanlike for Kennedy, their 9th.
That's I saw it happen and I thought, you know, that's not what you want, especially if you're John Anderson. A couple players they're coming in out of nowhere, making hits that don't need to be happening, and you know, yeah, you're down. You know what? Your coach talks about pride and commitment and passion throughout the game. I like that you're still playing with passion, but you gotta draw that line, because giving extra yards to teams isn't going to help you out. You got to clean up your game.
Inside handoff to the fullback, but Joe Draves and Kofi Beckley are all over that handoff to Nozell. No gain there. Second down as we're about to hit 3 minutes.
And that's not good. Coach Anderson is halfway out to the field yelling at his team. He's got a lot of players out there doing bad things, and Kofi Beckley coming up slow, and
Kennedy did take a timeout. Or was it an injury timeout?
I think it was an injury. Kofi was coming up pretty slow there. John Anderson just kind of walked out because he was trying to protect his team, and I like that. As Terrell Williams was getting a little mouthy with some players, getting a little handsy. Something that, very uncommon to see from a John Anderson football team.
Kennedy, 1 timeout left, 3:24. And the Cadets do have even if Kennedy stops them here on second down, well, actually the penalty will give them an automatic first down. But even if Kennedy stops them here well within range for a Cadet field goal. Probably going to be my first question on November 2nd when we have our final edition of Inside Kennedy Football. Is going to be talking about the penalties, 9 of them now for Kennedy. Obviously the 2 that wiped away touchdowns for the Eagles in this game, but more importantly, giving the Cadets field position on drives that you got down in their territory, then were pushed back by those penalties. Really the big story of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge story. Obviously, you take away those 2 penalties, we got a ball game here.
Herzog snaps it and hands it on the end around to Happy. And a nice play on the edge. Santiago Ortiz again making the play. He did keep Happy in bounds, but limited the gain to just 2. 3:05 and counting. Remember, Kennedy just 1 more timeout.
Yeah. I think at this point, John Anderson knows what's happening. He's trying to, obviously, after that the last little scuffle, I guess, best way to put it, came out and talked to all of his players and said, you know what, guys, you got to play clean. A couple seniors coming in and making kind of late hits that weren't needed off the ball.
There's a run up the middle by number 28, Jimmy Stanley, a 5'8 junior, into the lineup here late. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. And at this point, looking like the Cadets would just be fine with running out the remainder of this clock.
I think they got to get 1 first down here. Or are they sending out their
no, actually the down marker's showing 4th, so they're going to send out the field goal unit here.
4th and 5 for the Cadets.
Maybe with a little luck, little Vikings luck here.
That's your last chance here if you're Kennedy to try to block this kick to have any sort of hope. Copeland's already hit from 43. This one from 25, and Copeland right through, making it a 3-score game, and that'll pretty much do it.
Eagles 0.
With 1:47 remaining. John Copeland, 2 big field goals with the win. Sure, he probably could have attempted that one against the win. He's got a pretty strong leg, but the 43-yarder in the first half certainly was impressive, and that one, more importantly, gives the Cadets a 3-score lead.
Yeah.
I still count it.
And
have you let them know?
The one thing I'll say is that I don't know who does the scheduling or any of this, but St. Thomas Academy has some sort of vendetta against Bloomington. Last year in this section hockey, they take down Jefferson. We've run into them twice in football the past 2 years. I think we came out here in soccer one year and we lost here. They ended up winning the state tournament that year. I don't know what it is about St. Thomas and Bloomington, but, I don't think we've ever done anything to them, but, nothing against St. Thomas. It's a very good school. They got a very good coaching staff over here.
A team that went far in the state tournament last year. Don't know that they quite have the horses to do that this year, but you never know. Remember, they're on that opposite side of the bracket to Apple Valley, so they'll be facing a Park team next week where they've already played. They played them a couple weeks ago, losing 27-7.
Yeah. Park of Cottage Grove, a great program out there, out in Cottage Grove, and they're always one of the top teams in Section 3 5A. It doesn't matter, Apple Valley, Park Cottage Grove, St. Thomas Academy, three great programs. St. Thomas playing, I think they played 4A for a while, and they kept dominating in football. Moved up to 5A, right where they belong, and they're doing a great job up here in 5A.
Another touchback for Copeland with the wind, and possibly the final possession for the season for Kennedy. And they'll finish the season 1-8 with that lone win over Richfield, but back-to-back seasons where they've put a scare into the Cadets here. Remember last year they led for much of the first half. At one point it was 18-7, then the Cadets finally got things going. And then here tonight is a 10-point game. Kennedy had the ball deep in Cadet territory midway through the third quarter. So
yeah,
it's an Eagle team that always saves one of its better efforts of the season. And you want to do that in the playoffs for the Cadets.
Got a new running back in there for Kennedy.
Fumble, but they're going to say down before the fumble.
You got Theo Simmons in there now.
He's the younger brother, of course, of former Kennedy running back Max Simmons. Tremendous success at Southwest Minnesota State for older brother Max. Led all divisions in the NCAA in touchdowns, responsible for by a freshman last year with, I believe, 14.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's what John was talking about on Inside Kennedy Football.
And there's younger brother Theo, just a sophomore, and he has a first down for Kennedy crossing the 30.
Before the end of the game, just want to run down all the seniors for Kennedy. I think they had 17 seniors on the team. We want to wish, from BEC to those guys, we want to wish them the best in their future endeavors as they go off to, if they go to college or tech school or go into the workforce or join the armed forces. We want to just give you guys a quick shout out. Got number 2, Montario Southard. Michael McGaffey, number 3. Terrell Williams is number 5. Mecca Turner, number 7. Shireen Lee. I know I'm saying that incorrectly. I do apologize.
Sherrying Lee.
Sherrying. He says it a lot better. You talked to him on Inside Kennedy Football over me. Then we got, let's see, Isaac Cotier. Talked about him a lot. DeAndre Lovelace, Najee Brown, Jalen Moore, Oscar Perez Santana, Brandon Showstrand, Nicholas McCullen, Stefan Mason, and let's see, Tyler Nanoff, Carter Bean, and Leontre Mormont and Isaiah Cade.
Exactly. So those are the Kennedy seniors. Their Kennedy careers, football-wise, have ended for the second consecutive year here at Jerry Brown Field on the campus of St. Thomas Academy. The Cadets will advance to the semifinal round, beating Kennedy 19-0. They led 10-0 at the half. Kennedy certainly had its chances tonight. Could not capitalize on some situations. Kennedy really needed to play their best football of the season. In a lot of respects, they did that. The defense coming to play tonight for sure. Remember, they gave up 42 points last year to St. Thomas Academy. Decreased that tremendously tonight, but the offense, those 2 long touchdown runs called back, those were pivotal plays in the game. And the offense for Kennedy, they just don't have the firepower, Paul, to come back from plays like that don't go your way, mistakes like that too. You'd have to take a look at the film on the penalties, but they're just not an offense built to continue to strike time after time. Those penalties hurt Kennedy, ultimately not able to overcome them. St. Thomas Academy moving on.
Yeah, they talking about seeing them every week. Kennedy doesn't have a lot of numbers in their football program. It used to be like a 6A program, or what was the old 5A, but then they added the 32-team 6A whole debacle in the districts.
It was
always
a top
weird
class.
Yeah, they were always in
the
their
big school
top.
class.
They're a top class, and they always were very productive in that. They had a lot of people turning over, with what people are talking about with concussions and injuries and stuff. Maybe that's why they aren't having as big of a turnover. I love what we're seeing here, talking to one of the coaches after one of the games, and I think their freshman team was like 7-1 going into the game, and they were going to win the suburban white district in ninth grade in freshman league. So, I mean, Kennedy hasn't had a lot of success per se record-wise, but they got a lot of kids coming around. They're going to see a lot of more fun things coming. They got a lot of explosive players. Theo Simmons, obviously we see the seniors leaving, and we again, as we just aforementioned, we want to wish them the best. But John Anderson's done a great job with this program. On a cold night, we got a sideline on the far side, out in Mendota Heights. Yeah, you're only 15 minutes away from Bloomington. But that was pretty full throughout the entire game, whether it was students or parents or anybody. They're all coming out here. They're all supporting the team, and that's what Kennedy likes. That's what I like as an alumni from Kennedy.
So for the second straight year, Kennedy unable to upset the Cadets. They finished 1-8. St. Thomas Academy 5-4 now. They will play Park of Cottage Grove on Saturday. That'll be down in Park at 7 o'clock. Apple Valley plays the winner of Henry Sibley and Hastings. They'll, of course, be the home team.
Got an update on that game,
Saturday as well. What's the update there?
Hastings upsets.
That's
Henry
not a
Sibley.
huge surprise.
Not a huge
Hastings
one,
was 2-6 throughout the year, but Henry Sibley, they did not win a conference game. Hastings was able to defeat them in the regular season and then defeated them in the playoffs. They are on to play Apple Valley. And now we're ready down to Alex Redding. He's with winning head coach Jason Sedlak. Alex.
Thanks, guys. We're down here on the sideline with St. Thomas Academy head coach Jason Sedlak. Very tough game tonight. Kennedy's defense is not an easy opponent to face on offense, not an easy team to face at all. And, just one thing I got to ask is, compared to last season, you played them in the playoffs. How was tonight's game different than last season for you guys?
The weather was a lot better this year. It's cold, but not raining like it was last year. Hats off to Kennedy. Super physical, tough team. Fill gaps, hit hard, run to the football, played us tough like we knew they would, and happy to get out of there with a win without a doubt.
Absolutely. What key things do you want to take away from the game tonight from a coaching standpoint?
I talked about it before halftime. We cannot turn the ball over. It's a mistake. So when you get in the playoffs, the margin for error gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and we got to eliminate those errors and continue to improve.
From your coaching perspective, who are some of the key difference makers in tonight's matchup for you guys?
Our defense, we put a lot on those guys to get to the ball, take good angles, swarm, keep the ball in front of them, and that's really where we hang our hat with our defense.
And you play Park Cottage Grove next week, moving up in the bracket. And congratulations again, Coach. Very, very well-fought game for you guys tonight. Any adjustments going into the next game that you plan on making?
Yeah, well, again, when we played Park, we made some mistakes, turned the ball over too many times, and they're an offense that can score pretty much at any time, well-coached with a lot of good athletes, so we just got to make sure we account for all of them.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. I'm going to try and catch up here with Kennedy head coach John Anderson. If not, this wraps it up on the field. Back to you guys upstairs.
All right, Alex, thanks a lot. Good to hear from head coach Jason Sedlak. Congratulations to him and the rest of the staff of St. Thomas Academy. They will move on to face Park of Cottage Grove. Always good to get a second chance at a team that you lost to early in the season. Be a good game down in Park on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game to watch. It's a 2-3 matchup, always one of those matchups you never know who's going to come out on top. Obviously, they played a little bit before. They played here at St. Thomas. Now they got to go on the road. Common opponent. They see each other all year. They know what they're going to be bringing each other. After watching the defense here for St. Thomas, if they're able to do that against Park and hold their offense down some, it's going to be one heck of a football game. Snow or no snow, cold or hot,
That's true. It could,
because they're talking about snow on Friday.
It's possible.
we'll see what happens here. Obviously,
well, I want to touch on the Kennedy defense here while Alex is trying to flag down head coach John Anderson. Such a strong unit for the team this year. I know the numbers you may not think that with some of the numbers. I mean, you give up more than 40 points a couple times, 30 points, but given the limited success the offense had early in the season, they were put in some tough situations, but yet they kept responding time after time. And tonight was kind of the same thing. The offense struggled at times against a very good Cadet defense. We saw the Eagle defense force a couple of turnovers. You turn St. Thomas Academy over on downs, another time in your own territory. We've seen throughout this year this Kennedy defense, the heart of the team, and really tonight that was no different.
Yeah, we saw them throughout the game again, like you said, and that's what John talks about, It doesn't matter what the other team puts up, they come out, they played every drive hard. They played it with a lot of passion going on to that. A lot of passion. They held a Richfield team that ran a whole bunch. They slowed it down. And then, we saw them against Cooper. That defense just came out and just absolutely was unstoppable.
And then you look at the offense, Paul. It's a unit that struggled early in the season. We saw them find their identity. I think it started with the Jefferson game. Late in that game, they come up with a couple of touchdowns. You see them the next week against a very good opponent. They get 2 more touchdowns, and you see that translate into the Richfield game. They put up 42 points on the board. Now, they didn't get any points in that, but I think you finally saw the offense with Coutier in there, that full house backfield look with Draves, and even tonight with Terrell Williams in the backfield. They finally found that identity. Unfortunate that they don't have any more games to play after tonight, but they did some nice things the last half of the year too.
Yeah, that second half of the year, and obviously Coach Anderson talks about it, family, and he's, they finally were clicking, It didn't matter what the guy in front of him did. He worked on what the guy next to him, and they made them more successful.
Down to Alex with the head coach, John Anderson. Alex.
Well, I was able to flag down Kennedy head coach John Anderson one last time this season and tonight. So, well-fought game for your squad tonight. Coming into St. Thomas Academy, not an easy opponent at all. You played well. Just kind of from your thoughts on the game so far and just playing them the second time around. I mean, what was different? I mean, what stayed the same?
Our defense played great. Our defense, they gave up one bad drive in the first half, and then from that point, they were locked down. I'm so proud of those seniors on that defense. Terrell Williams, Brandon Shostrand, DeAndre Lovelace, Jalen Moore, Stephon Mason, Nick McCullen, Isaac Coutier, all of those guys. They stepped up and really did it. I told them we got to play loose. We are the underdogs. We got nothing to lose. So go out there and take it to them. Unfortunately, we just had a couple bad calls go against us this time. We talk a lot about how, the only things we can control are our effort and our attitude, and how we got to take care of our business. We can't, and I even say we can't control the weather, and it's cold as all get out. We can't control that wind that really hurt the passing game at times. We can't control the referees, and I say that often. We can't control the referees, and unfortunately, the referees, they threw some untimely penalties against us tonight, and that's just the way it works out sometimes.
Absolutely. Do you think that your guys also as well were executing to the level that you expect them to execute on every play and just in the game in general? Do you felt like they were playing up to the way that you expect them to? Yes. I was slow. Didn't mean to be slow to that answer, but we do have high expectations of our players, and our defense played outstanding. They played physical. They've got way more beef up front than we do on their defensive side, and we knew that our inside run game would struggle, and we hoped that putting Joe in there would be able to pound them a little bit like we were against Richfield. But when we realized that wasn't going to be effective, that's why we started spreading them out more often, trying to get our three-step game to Santos, trying to get that speed option game going with Terrell and Isaac. But when we executed, we did well, and unfortunately, the refs didn't think we executed at times. Absolutely. Just final thoughts and a recap on this year. Just kind of from your standpoint.
I'm going to miss these guys, these seniors. When I started, they were 8th graders, and they're a great group of kids, and they mean a lot to me, and they mean a lot to the school, and they will be missed, and I think they served us well.
All right, thank you so much, Coach, and congratulations on a really, really fantastic season. All right, and that is it for me. Down on the sidelines, in on the field, we're going to send it back up to the guys in the booth, Paul and Josh.
Thanks, Alex. Very courteous for head coach John Anderson to stick around for those words. Unfortunately, the season ends with a loss for the Eagles, 19-0 here against St. Thomas Academy. The Eagles finish 1-8. Reminder here, not the last we've heard from Coach Anderson. Inside Kennedy Football Special Edition, season-ending edition, November 2nd, which is a Thursday, 2 days after Halloween. We'll have the final Inside Kennedy episode, a chance to catch up with head coach John Anderson to wrap up the season. On the field, that'll wrap it up. St. Thomas Academy moves to the semifinal round. Kennedy's season ends at 1-8, 19-0, the final here. For Alex Redding and for Paul Fournier and our entire volunteer BEC-TV crew, this is Josh Powers saying good night from Mendota Heights.